Okay, we're now live on YouTube, having reconvened from the adjournment. Chairman, you're on mute.
Back again. We've reconvened. Thank you. Welcome back, Mr. White.
Thank you very much.
I'll introduce to all my fellow councillors. I'm Brian Sargent, the member for Sixfields.
Yep.
Sally?
Sally Beersworth, councillor for Kingsthorpe Ward in Northampton.
Keith?
Councillor Keith Holland, the Mayor for Billing and Rectory Farm.
And then we've got the Democratic Services Officers, Richard Woods and Maisie McInnes. They're the IT experts today. And Alan Parr, who is our legal advisor. And then we've got the Senior Licensing Officer, Martin O'Connell. Would the applicant introduce himself?
My name's Lee White. I'm the owner of the Outpost Cafe on Bedford Road.
Thank you, sir. I'm going to ask the same question as everybody in the agenda. Yes, it's the answer,
Yeah.
Mr. White.
Yep.
Any questions as regards procedure?
No?
Any preliminary questions?
No, Chair.
No, Chair.
Officer to introduce his report. Over to you, Mr. O'Connell. You're muted, Martin.
Beg your pardon, I was typing there, I had to turn it off. Okay, so the purpose of this report is to consider an application for a new premises licence submitted by Mr. Lee White for the Outpost Cafe situated within a park at Bedford Road, Northampton, NM1 5NX. An application was submitted by Mr. Lee White on behalf of himself, and the application was received by West Northants Council on the 1st of May 2021. The premises to which this licence applies is for a cafe within a park area and adjacent to the skate park, which will seat roughly 20 people inside and 40 people outside. The licensable activities applied for are as follows: the sale of alcohol for consumption on and off the premises, live music and recorded music. The hours for which these activities are asked for is Monday to Thursday, 10 in the morning till 8 o'clock at night, Friday, 10 in the morning till 9 o'clock at night, Saturday, 10 in the morning till 10 o'clock at night, and Sundays, 10 in the morning till 6 in the evening. And that's across the board for all the licensable activities and reflects the opening hours. The proposed designated premises supervisor is Mr. Lee White, the holder of the personal licence issued by South Northants District Council, as was. When a request for a new premises licence or club premises certificate is received, the applicant must display a notice at or near the premises and serve a copy of the application onto the responsible authorities. For electronic applications, this is the requirement of the local authority to serve a copy of the application onto the responsible authorities, which is what's happened. This gives responsible authorities and interested parties the opportunity to make representations in relation to the application for a period of 28 calendar days. The last date for making representations on this application was the 30th of May 2021. The obligatory notice was displayed on the premises as verified by licensing officers, as was the newspaper advertisement. Northamptonshire Police have considered the application, and Police Sandy Tracy, having raised representation to us, contacted the applicant and put forward some of the conditions which Mr. White has accepted as the proposed licence holder and DPS. However, these conditions significantly changed the operating schedule at the point of as it was at the point of application, and as such, this now requires scrutiny from the licensing subcommittee for them to decide as per the options at 7.1 below. Environmental protection have not made any representations, and no other representations from the public or any other responsible authorities have been received. Attendance today, Mr. Lee White is in the attendance, but the police have notified me they do not wish to attend as they have agreed the conditions and are quite happy with the agreement to those conditions they have proposed. A plan of the premises layout is in the report as below. The options for the committee in respect of this application are in that they must decide it on the basis of the 4 licensing objectives: the prevention of crime and disorder, public safety, the prevention of public nuisance, and the protection of children from harm. And the steps the subcommittee can take are to grant the licence subject to conditions. That is the conditions that they feel are appropriate to the promotion of the licensing objectives, and any condition which must, under sections 19, 20 or 21, be included in the licence. They can exclude from the scope of the licence any of the licensable activity to which the application relates. They can refuse to specify a person in the licence as the premises supervisor, or they can reject the licence application outright. Policy considerations. The statement of licensing policy and the guidance under section 182 of the Licensing Act 2003 are those policies we need to be considering. Section 9 of that guidance gives the guidance in particular for the determination of this application, and each application must be considered on its own merits. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. O'Connell. Any questions for Mr. O'Connell from anybody?
No, Chair, I'm fine.
No, Chair.
Fairly
Thank
conclusive.
you. None from you, Mr. White?
No, I'm fine.
As the applicant, you can now present your representation to the committee.
Okay, I took over the Outpost Cafe just over 11 months ago. It wasn't a very well-run place, and it was very derelict on it. It wasn't in use. We've improved the area, invited a lot more people into the area. We've worked with the council to combat some problems, which was illegal traveller camps and stuff. We have significantly improved the area and offering for people. And during the COVID outbreak, we have sat back and discussed what we could do to make things look better. And we've listened to people. We've asked for suggestions, and a few of them were involved in having music events, not loud music events, just people playing guitars and things, just offering somewhere for someone to go. We have regularly been asked if we sell alcohol. That was something we didn't want to do, but we believe that we think it would be financial benefit for us to offer this. But again, as where we are, the reason we didn't want to do it before, because as stated, we do have a skate park behind us, and we didn't want to be known as one where you can get alcohol. But we have since realised we're not actually there for the skate park, we're there for the entire public of Northampton. So we don't believe we should be limiting ourselves just because of our location. There are other premises in the area with premises license, and we feel it's only fair that we should be granted one. The hours that were specified by Martin just there and the hours I put in my application is not a daily thing. It was just in the event that, say, next month we want to do an open mic night, we had the hours in place. We do close at 6 p.m. every night at the moment, and the hours specified there was just if we were to have further events, and those were the hours we wouldn't be going over. That's it. There have been a few instances in the past involving alcohol in the area, which has nothing to do with the cafe, but the cafe have taken it on our mind to sort these problems out, inform the local authorities, make sure the people are safe and look after the premises. And that's it, really.
Thank you, sir. Any questions from my fellow councillors?
Yes, please, Chair.
Far away, Sally.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Weiss. That was very interesting to hear that how you are endeavouring to improve the area and work with the council to get things done. And I do know that it is a problem with illegal travel sites down there. And sometimes people are given permission to go down there because it's close to the hospital if they have treatment. I'm sure you're aware of that as well. The only problem I have, because it's a skate park close by, I would be very concerned about underage drinking. And I know all skateboarders aren't under 15. A lot of them are in their 30s and older. But we just have to be mindful of that as an authority to make sure that there is the 25 limit, you know, so that you can check people's IDs.
Yeah,
having
totally
a-
agree with you.
That's my only reservation, and it's not a reservation really, it's just something that you should be minded of. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your presentation, and I wish you all the best of luck with it.
Keith, you're on mute, Keith. You're not now, you're okay.
I'm happy with the application. I have no further questions.
I'm happy with the application. The only thing I'm dubious about was what Sally's brought up, sales to minors, which you'll have to be really strict on.
Yep.
And glass on grass. If there's any breakages, it's on grass. There may be young children, there may be dogs about. So if you pay special attention if there's any glass on grass, or perhaps even serve plastic glasses outside.
Yeah, am I allowed to reply to that?
Of course you are.
Yeah, so basically that was the main thing that we looked at. There is already a problem there where people will bring glass bottles, and we actually do a daily check of the whole park. And we don't, it's not our job to police that, but we do every morning go out there, the skate park, surrounding areas, to clear broken bottles and stuff. We do offer brooms and dustpans that people regularly come to ask us for. That was not very common, but we work with the council themselves, the bin man themselves, to combat this.
Mhm.
Are proposing that we were not going to be serving anything in glass bottles, mostly plastic cups. The only glass bottles that we'd be serving if somebody was to take away, and we will stress that they cannot be opened on the park, or we will refuse to sale.
And you are only applying for a beer license.
Just a beer license, beer license, music license, and entertainment license. Due to the fact that we wanted to do some open mic open mic nights, and we have a jukebox on the premises.
You have. Brilliant.
We also we have improved there was 0 CCTV on that premises when I took over. We have more CCTV coverage of that area than the police and Northamptonshire Council, which we
Good.
regularly passed on to the police with incidents that are not involved in the park. They have had a lot of our coverage already given to them.
Good.
So, go on, Sally.
No, I'm just saying that's excellent news, Chair. I mean, people at companies like Mr. White's are very good to be working with the police and with the council to make the area safer for everybody.
Yeah. We're also working with the mayor at the moment for a new scheme involving bike cycling, which is an ongoing thing with the council as well. And again, we've added even more CCTV to allow them to store a shed next to the cafe. So we're trying to get involved in as many things as we can and make sure that area, which is Midsummer Meadow, is a lot nicer place to go. And because it is a lovely area, and that's what we want. We just want to entice more and more people to go out, have fun, but respectively.
Any questions from Martin? Mr. O'Connell, anything from you?
No questions. No questions
you,
from
sir.
me, Chair.
Well, you can sum up then, Martin.
Just to say that, I'm starting on page 21 of this report, you can see the police conditions that have been agreed to. They do include the CCTV. They do include a condition of glass not being taken outside of the licensable area. And they do include the Challenge 21 or 25 proof of age scheme, which will be operated at the premises. So all of those are included in the conditions agreed. Again, which will be, if you're in agreement, will be applied to the license when it's granted.
Would you be happy with the revised hours? I know they weren't on the original.
The hours. I think what Mr. White is saying is that although they don't normally open beyond 6 o'clock, the hours are still there in the background on a license in case on any particular day he does want to open it later and have that regulated entertainment or the sale of alcohol later. But on general terms, I think what he's saying is that they're generally only going to be open until 6 o'clock in the evening on most days, but there may be occasions where they will be able to bring in other events and things.
My fellow councillors happy with that?
Yes, Chair.
Yes, Chair.
Thank you. the applicant, would you like, Mr. White, would you like to sum up?
Yeah, summary wise, about those rules of the police, yeah, they were my rules personally myself, but you know, I'm not very literature with writing down what I want to do. And basically when they sent me those rules, it was something that I had in place anyway. You know, we have a lot more than what they've asked for. And it's just, I just wanted to make sure that the council know that those rules are just bare minimum for me. I have even more that I've got in place. And I would really like the alcohol license to be granted to, like I say, to allow more things for people.
Yeah, sounds good. I think we'll adjourn now, and the decision will be sent by post.
Yep.
And you have 21 days to appeal if you're not happy with it.
Yeah, that's fine. Roughly how long is the turnaround for that?
Couple of days.
Oh, okay, that's no problem. No
Yeah.
problem.
No
I think it's
problem.
5 working days, Chair.
5, is it?
Maximum 5 working days, yes, Chair.
So you'll be all right this time next week. You can have a big
Okay,
launch.
no problem. I
Thank you, sir.
Thank everybody for attending.
It's a pleasure to speak to a responsible person. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.